Dear Judy, it's been a whole year now, a whole long year in prison, and the only thing bothering me is I haven't heard from you in so long. Why? What's happening? It is not like I have done anything wrong. All I did was just drive the car. The only reason I did it was because we needed money. I was so stupid. I know. But I hope you will come and visit me, dear Judy.
Hey, would you be my driver?
How much?
Like $3 million?
That's enough. Yes.
After that horrible bank robbery, I was the only one who survived.
Dear Walt, I got your letter and the reason I ain't come to see you is that I just don't have the money for the trip. Besides, I got to do all the chores now. Uncle Ike down with the rheumatism again, and Doc Sunder says he won't be up and around until the warm spring weather sets in, and that's not likable to happen until May. And when Ike's feeling punny, he wants me around all the time, and all he does is complain and tell me everybody's out to take the skin of me. He even tried to chase George off the place when George came around in his new car to ask me out for a ride, and I sure needed to get away from the farm for a while. George was real nice to me too. He wanted to know how I was getting along without you, and if I was missing you much. Well, I said it was kind of lonesome. There were things a girl needed sometimes, and who was around except Ike? Seemed George got my meaning wrong, but I straightened him out real good. Afterwards, I told him right out that we was liable to lose the farm unless we got a mortgage installment paid, and how could I pay it until I got a crop in? And I said that with George getting promoted to be vice president of the bank, he could maybe do something. He said he'd see what he could manage, and that was about as far as we got. Anyhow, it was nice getting away from the Ike for a while, especially when George took me out to dinner. Walt, I wish you were a banker too. Your loving wife, Judy.
Dear Judy, I know it's hard on you, and with Ike to take care of, it's even worse. He's touchy enough when he feels good, but the good Lord will provide, Judy. I know what I'm saying about George and the bank holding off. You want to get it written down next time you see him. You want to ask him about Ruthie Watkins, which I found out about from a guy up here named Ernie Taylor. These letters. Ernie and me get along fine because the both of us were innocent men and we shouldn't ought to be here. Ernie happened to mention some letters he got hold of which George read to his Ruthie Watkins, so maybe you better mention them to George next time you see him. Your loving husband, Walt.
Dear Walt, George took me out to dinner again and we talked about a lot of things. And like you told me to do, I just happened to mention Ruthie Watkins. And then I said about the mortgage and how it ought to be written down. And the very next day I got a letter from the bank promising to hold off until autumn. But I don't know what good it's going to do, because next time I was out with George, I got the idea he ought to go riding in the tractor, which he did. As far as that big ditch on the west side, I didn't get hurt bad, just a bruise or two that he's relaxing from. But you ought to see what's left of that tractor. So how do I make that mortgage payment in the fall with no crop coming in? And if I don't pay up, we got no farm. I'm tired, Walt. I'm plumb tired, and just about at the end of my tether. You said the good Lord will provide, but how? How? Your loving wife, Judy.
Dear Judy, you got to be patient like I said, and if you're real patient, the Lord will provide. Because he come to me in a dream, and he said that there was something buried in the south field that will take care of us. Your loving husband, Walt.
There is something in the south field that's gonna take care of you. Hallelujah!
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself.
Must find that treasure. Yes, the treasure for walking beauty.
But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else. Ooh, I know that you don't know it, but you're fine, so fine, fine, so fine. Ooh, oh, girl,
We're not gonna find anything in this field.
Dear Walt, I don't know just how to tell you this, but I guess I'll just set it down the way it happened. You know how Ike hates the law ever since they came around and took you away. So when the sheriff and 6 deputies showed up the day before yesterday, Ike tried to chase them away. He got up out of bed and ran all over the place looking for his shotgun, only I had it hid. Then he yelled at them and called them all kinds of names, and they finally grabbed him and tied him up for a spell, so he never did see what they'd done. He's spry again. All that running after the deputies loosened him up, and now he's as good as ever. But I don't rightly know what the sheriff came for, and you'll never tumble to what those deputies of his done. What? They went down to that south field, and the 6 of them spent the whole day digging, and then they came back the next day and kept on until they dug up just about every inch of that field. And I never did see any 6 men look so tired, and they sure were mad. Your loving wife, Judy.
Are you Ike?
Yes, and who are you?
We're from the police.
You're not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to be here.
We need to talk.
No, not allowed to be here.
Calm down.
We don't allow this rudeness. No!
This is the rhythm of the night. The night. Oh yeah.
I got a party on my mind soon as I step inside the place. Top of